Hey guys, what's going on? So one of the biggest storylines this offseason has been, where is Tom Brady going to play in 2020? Is Tom Brady going to sign somewhere else other than New England? Is Tom Brady going to wear a jersey other than a New England one for the first time in his career? Since last season, I really thought two things. One, I don't really believe Tom Brady is going to retire. And two, I believe he's going to go back to the Patriots. I mean, he's been there his whole career. His life is kind of there. He had one of the best, if not the best defenses in the NFL last season. The list goes on and on as why Tom Brady should stay in New England. And oh yeah, legacy-wise, just think about that. How much greater that would be for his legacy if he stayed with one team his whole career. But as this offseason goes on and I read more and more reports, I'm honestly starting to believe there's a real possibility Tom Brady leaves New England. And I honestly didn't start to really believe this until this week. And this week I'm kind of like, oh wow, this could happen. There could be some real NFL drama, like a huge NFL storyline. Dale Arnold of WEEI reported that there was a call between Brady and Belichick where it's supposedly said that Belichick told Brady they could only offer him a one-year deal worth less than what he was paid last year because of his cap hit. And from what I've been reading, it seems like Brady wants to get that big contract in his final year, or a contract that's, a GOAT contract. If he's the GOAT, he wants to be paid like the GOAT in what could be his final year. So I really don't believe he's going to take less money to stay in New England, especially with all that drama we've been hearing has been going on between Brady and Belichick, or I shouldn't say drama, but headbutting and not being so cozy friendly with each other. Also, Diana Rossini said the following on Get Up, quote, "Some of the things Brady wants, control over the roster, and he wants to be part of making decisions on the play calling," end quote. I mean, I just don't see either one of those things happening for Brady in New England, especially control over the roster. I mean, could you see Belichick giving Tom Brady control over the roster? That's just totally against the Patriot way. Giving one player control over what happens to the other players, it's something Belichick would definitely not let happen on his roster, putting one player higher than other players and, giving someone control over the roster that's a player. I mean, that's putting a player really, really high over other players. So I don't see that happening in New England. And like I mentioned earlier, all this reported tension between Brady and Belichick that hasn't just been happening this past season, but before that as well. So, Brady's the GOAT, and he might just say, listen, in what could be my final season, I want to be treated like the GOAT. Just for possibly 1 or 2 seasons, I want that treatment. Another interesting thing to note, Tom Brady is launching a production company, 199 Productions or 199 Productions, his draft spot. It's going to be a production company for TV shows, films, all of that Hollywood stuff. So that got me thinking, there's a team in LA, where Hollywood is obviously, that just parted ways with their quarterback. They have a good amount of cap space. They could probably sign Tom Brady with that money. And then you think about it more. You think about that offense, all the weapons they have on that offense, something Tom Brady needed desperately last year in New England. He needed a playmaker to throw to. He didn't have that. The Chargers, they have Austin Eckler, a great pass-catching back. They have Keenan Allen. They have Hunter Henry. They just put the franchise tag on Hunter Henry, who is an elite pass-catching tight end. Brady hasn't had that since Gronk retired. Defensively, they aren't as good as the Patriots. They don't have a bad defense. They have a pretty good defense. But like I said, the Patriots defense was one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL last year. LA gave up 21.6 points per game last year. That ranks 14th in the NFL. So yeah, a decent defense. But they do have good young talent on the defensive side of the ball. They have Derwin, they have Bosa, just to name a few. Those are guys who could be entering their prime starting next season, or the beginning of their prime next season. But with all those playmakers on the LA offense, I believe Brady will be able to score more points than he was last year in New England. So that kind of balances out having a not as good defense, because obviously if you score more points, your defense doesn't need to hold the other team to as little points to win the game. The issue I do see with LA though is their offensive line. And that's obviously a big issue because nothing's going to happen if Brady doesn't have time to throw the ball. He's not going to be rolling out of the pocket and scrambling. Come on. Sorry, Brady. We all know you're not really that mobile, especially at this age. You know, you're doing great. You're doing great though for this age. It's very, very impressive. But listen, I think they can fix this offensive line rather quick. They have the 6th overall pick in the draft. They can draft an elite offensive lineman at that spot. Or if a QB needy team wants to trade with them, they can trade back in the draft, get some more picks, and draft an offensive lineman a little later. They also made a trade with Carolina earlier this offseason to get guard Trey Turner. So it seems like they are putting in some work already to this offensive line. And if Brady does come to LA, I think he's going to say, listen, this offensive line needs to be good. I'm not trying to take sack after sack in what could be my last season. I mean, another reason Tom Brady might want to go to the Chargers is who doesn't want to live in LA? A nice warm climate as opposed to the snow and cold of the Northeast. That seems like a pretty good move to me. Another team that's been tied to Tom Brady in free agency is the Miami Dolphins. And honestly, that just doesn't really make sense for me because the Dolphins are a young and rebuilding team. They're younger than the Chargers, and I think it just makes more sense for them to draft a young quarterback, a guy like Tua or even Justin Herbert. That's all for this video, guys. Make sure you drop a like, comment down below, let me know where you think Tom Brady is going to play in 2020, and that's it. Peace out.